Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I think I have a really good one here today. If you've been involved with a narcissist in any way, shape, or form, but especially the romantic relationship, then you will know exactly what I'm talking about today. And so the title of this video is The Narcissist Requires Chaos. They do. So think about this. There are so many things associated with evil that I could talk about with a narcissist. As I say so often, narcissism is a spiritual disorder. That's what it is. At its core, it's a spiritual disorder. It manifests itself mentally, of course, and in a variety of ways, but at its core, it's spiritual. So we can talk about gaslighting. Who hides keys, wallet, documents? Who hides things from people just to confuse them? Who denies things that are obvious and right in front of you just to confuse people? Who constantly tries to trick you into doubting yourself and your own reality? What you saw, what you think, what you heard. That's intentional evil. We could talk about triangulation, which I do think is probably the worst thing that ever happens. I agree with Andrew on narcology. Not narcology, Narc Daily. Narc Daily. I get him and Dave sometimes confused. There's Narcology Unscripted with Dave and Narc Daily with Andrew. Some of the ones I just loved from the beginning of my journey on this. If you haven't seen them, I really strongly recommend checking those channels out. But they talk about triangulation and how it's really the most vicious thing these people do. I agree with that. I did a video on it. It's called, I think, The Narcissist Triangulation is Deadly. Go back and check that one out if you haven't. Point is, triangulation's intentional evil. They're going to pull somebody else, usually a flirtatious event, usually an ex, somebody at a dinner meeting, somebody at a grocery store. They're going to pull somebody else in the mix to make you jealous. So they do those things. Blame shifting, projection, constant criticism. These are really highly, oftentimes, planned out events of evil. But one thing I think gets lost a lot of times that really proves how evil the narcissist is, and that it's a spiritual disorder, is that the narcissist requires chaos. They really do. So think about some of the examples I could just mention. But this is why so oftentimes in a narcissistic relationship, events in the nature of your relationship changes on a dime, turns on a dime. Because things can't go well very long for the narcissist. They simply cannot function that way. Peace, stability, tranquility, just an easy, happy relationship, that does not suit them. That will never suit the narcissist. If you've been in a relationship with them, you understand that. So that's why your relationship changes. That's why you can have an amazing weekend together. Maybe if you're really super lucky, you had a great week together. Whew. Those were some amazing times, weren't they? A whole week where we got along well. And you thought to yourself, well, this is really going the way I want it to go. Then what has to happen at the end of, let's say, that amazing weekend you had? Maybe you went to dinner and you watched some movies, you took walks, you took a drive. You just had a really nice weekend together, and the narcissist was treating you well. What is always going to happen, sooner or later, the next day or a couple of days after that, you're going to get that call. You're going to get that text message. And it's going to say something like, we need to talk. Call me when you get a chance. And as soon as that happens, you know, oh, here we go. It was going too well, wasn't it? And then you get that pit in your stomach, and you think, okay, I guess I better call the narcissist. And you do. And what are you going to get? Who knows? You might call and get something like, hey, your dog was at my house, and I've been cleaning up dog here all morning long. It's everywhere. It's all in my sweeper. This isn't right. I can't do this. You don't have the same standards of cleanliness that I do. You don't have the same standards of how to keep a house than I do. Your dog is too much. I don't want him here anymore. Actually, I don't think we can do this relationship anymore. Yeah. That is how it turns. That's how fast it turns. So you get stuff like that. You also get the high-low push-pull. The narcissist requires chaos. And another way they do it is the toxic push and pull pattern. Love you, hate you, love you, hate you, love you, hate you. You're the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. You're the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I love you so much I can't stand you. Up, down, high, low, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. You can make a dance out of it. But that's the nature of the relationship. And you think to yourself so oftentimes, why can't it just be constant and steady? I know people have good days and bad days to an extent. A healthy person's going to have a hard day sometimes. Not the narcissist. It is a continuous roller coaster ride of emotions. It never ever stops. You're high, you're low, you're in, you're out. It's push, it's pull, it's push, it's pull. Why do they do that? Why would anyone do that so consistently? Almost like it's a rule for them. It must go this way. For starters, one thing is they have to have control. They always have to have control. That's for a different video. But most importantly, they need chaos in their lives. They can't do this thing that normal, healthy people do, which is increasingly rare, is just be steady, calm, peaceful. Can't do it. So another example. Maybe you guys have had a great relationship for 3-4 months. Maybe it was longer if you're really lucky. And they've love bombed you and everything has gone well and you're amazing. And then what are they going to do? Uh-oh. You said you loved them. Or uh-oh. Maybe it's 8, 9, 10 months, a year down the road and you got engaged. Uh-oh. You got married to the narcissist. What is going to happen? Inevitably, almost immediately after that transpires. Same day, maybe. I know, I can say after we said I love you, 5 days maybe, 4 or 5 days later like clockwork, boom, the first giant, enormous, colossal problem took place. The big event, the mask slipped, a person I'd never seen before emerges. And you all have these experiences, whether that came after I love you or engagement or marriage or whatever it was. And what was really the problem? Things were going just a little too well, weren't they, for the narcissist? And they don't like that. Hey, this has been good. We've really gotten along. We love each other. Or we're engaged. Or we're... Nope. That's a license for them to abuse you, for one thing, because now they know they have control, which I talked about a second ago. But again, most importantly, they can't thrive on stability. So they've got to blow it up. They have to do it. More to the point, this is why they blow up every relationship throughout history. Think about the narcissist that you know and perhaps were in a relationship with. Do they have great long-lasting friendships that they're close to? No. Do they have family members that they have phenomenal, loving, lasting relationships with? No. Did it ever work out with an ex very well? No. They may have lied and said that it did, but you know better, because they share stories throughout the course of the relationship. Everything is always the other person's fault. It is never their fault. And most importantly is they blew every single relationship up, and probably, usually, for some absolutely ridiculous reason. Again, maybe you smashed a loaf of bread. There comes a rage fit. They didn't blow the relationship up for that, but they had to use that opportunity to create chaos. So ask yourself a very important question. Why would anyone need to function in such a way? Why would anybody need to have a constant, perpetual line of chaos in their lives? Why isn't it okay for things to just be good and to get along? To have a happy, loving... I mean, really think about this, guys. What does it tell you about someone if they simply don't want it? You give them two options. You can have a amazing person who will bend over backwards for you, treat you like gold. You will have a happy, healthy, long-lasting, kind, reciprocal relationship of peace, longevity. Or you can have a relationship of chaos, mistrust, bad deeds, chaos, destruction, high, low, push-pull, up and down. Which one do you want? I mean, you get your pick between these two. All of us, and all of you watching this, unless you're a narcissist, is going to say, well, that's the easiest decision of my life. I want nothing more than to have somebody to share my life with who reciprocates my love, affection, attention, is consistent, stable. I can wake up every day and we just be at peace with each other and go on a trip and talk the whole way down and enjoy the scenery. Enjoy every day together, have a nice breakfast, dinner. Talk about important things, talk about little things, and just be at peace with each other. Who wouldn't want that? You know who wouldn't want that? The narcissist. I don't think you're probably grasping this because it takes a while to sit in. They can have the two options between that amazing life of peace and prosperity with someone or that horrific, chaotic, destructive life, and they will pick this one. That's the one they want. They don't just want it, they need it. The narcissist requires chaos. They are not happy unless they are that whirlwind that I always talk about. Because that's what a narcissist is. They go through their whole life like a destructive vortex. And everyone and everything around them gets sucked into the vortex. That's not just how they are, that's how they want to live their lives. So in closing, consider this. What type of person wants chaos, needs chaos, thrives on chaos, gets all their energy, their supply? And let me add that one thing real quick. Narcissists get supply from admiration, from attention, positive or negative, okay? They do. And they always need that. They always need it. But let me tell you something that I know in my heart without a doubt. The narcissist loves and thrives off of negative energy and chaos far more than positive attention and stability and peace. They do. It's like that sweet nectar for them. Man, they'll take any of that decent supply, but you give them chaos. Oh, now they're in business. They're thriving. Well, what type of people, what type of person requires this? Well, one, a very, very damaged person. We'll talk about in another video how narcissists are made and not born. Go back and watch that one if you want to see how a narcissist comes to be a narcissist. I talk about it in detail. But they thrive on chaos because they're really, really disturbed. But what does this really tell you about it? Who thrives on chaos because they're so deeply disturbed? An evil person. Someone whose conscience is seared, who's been taken over by the evil one, whose Lord is the dark master, the God of this age, the ruler of this world, Satan, the chief narcissist. Narcissism is a spiritual disorder, and they are taken over by the chief narcissist, and they are Satan's foot soldiers. It's like he cloned himself in human form and went stamp, 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 stamp. Different sizes, shapes, colors, genders, but they all have the same characteristics, do they not? Yes, they do. And with tweaks and adjustments and personalities, little twist, but they all do the same things. Guys, anyone who thrives off of chaos, avoid these people like the plague. But secondly, understand that only a truly, authentically evil and corrupt person not only thrives on it, but wants and desires chaos. It can't be good for them. It's not acceptable. Stability, peace, calm, it's not good for them. You will never have a relationship with a narcissist that is worth anything for a million reasons. But one of them is that they require chaos. Your life will be a disaster all the time that you're with them. It always will, on and on and on. It's never going to change. Because in their heart, they're only satiated temporarily by chaos and destruction. So guys, the narcissist requires chaos. It's not optional for them. They require it and they love it. So thanks for watching this video. I'll be back again here soon with another one. Until then, God bless.